Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Christy. I'm a homeschool mom to 3 kids, and today I'm going to give you a February homeschool update. So let me first start out by saying that February was a really good month for us. We stayed consistent all month long, and in doing so, I've seen so much growth from both of my kids. One thing that has been really cool about the month of February for us for homeschooling is the fact that we've been really consistent with our read aloud. So this year, I really wanted to focus on reading aloud together, and then that kind of just didn't happen. I found that we were kind of pushing it aside. For the month of February, I discovered that doing our read aloud at bedtime works so great at keeping it in our schedule and keeping us consistent with it. And so every night at bedtime, I put my littlest girl down for bed, and then I take the other two into my oldest daughter's room, and we do our read aloud from our chapter book that we've been reading. We read Echo Mountain this month. Wonderful book. We really loved it. My kids loved it. My daughter never wanted me to stop reading it. And we are about halfway through with Train to Impossible Places. And yeah, so we've been really consistent with read aloud time. I used to do a read aloud with my oldest daughter at bedtime pretty consistently with just her. But now I've been including my son into our read aloud bedtime routine again. And it's been working really well. He is getting more interested in read aloud time, as if before he kind of would fidget and not pay attention and be loud and kind of crazy and just wasn't really all that into it. But now he requests me to read, and he does a lot better of a job at sitting still and listening to the story, which I can see he's just growing in that area like crazy. As far as my son goes, his curriculum, his schooling is going really well. We've been really consistent with Playing Preschool too. We love it. I can't say enough good things about that program. My littlest daughter has recently really taken a liking to being included in our school time now. She asks for her school and she wants to do her school. So she's been kind of playing in a little tracing book that I've had, and then she joins in on playing preschool activities when she can with Emmett. And so she's been really loving that as well. Something that I have added in for Emmett are flashcards, in particular letter flashcards and sounds. So I found a pack of flashcards from the dollar store. They're just like animal ones, like realistic animals, which I really like, and they have the letters on them. And so what we'll do is we'll kind of play a game, and I'll hold him up and he has to tell me the letter sound. And he's been doing really well, and so we've been running through those every single day, and it's really helping him to remember his letter sounds. We're really trying to get those down so that we can move on to kind of the next process and steps to learning to read. And so I'm just kind of reinforcing what he's learning with his letter sounds with his school in like a daily practice routine, and he really likes it. He enjoys it. He finds it fun. Another thing that's been really cool about my son is he is becoming very interested in doing a lot of art things lately. He's been wanting to paint like crazy, like he always wants to paint or color a picture. We've been kind of switching in and out some of our curriculums that we've been using with him, and one of them is Letters and Numbers from Gather Round. We really enjoy that one, and so I will some days do that with him instead of playing preschool. And recently there have been kind of little projects where he has to cut things out and color them, and we did this thing last week where he had to cut out a poison dart frog, color the poison dart frog, which he ended up using watercolor for, and he really enjoyed that. And then we glued him on a rainforest background, and he was so proud of his work he did on that, and he's just really interested in creating art. And so I definitely encourage that and give him the freedom. He has to paint. I'm like, sure, and I'll get all the paints out for him, and he just kind of does his own thing. I'm not really instructing him, and he has a lot of fun with it. Moving on to my daughter. So with her, the biggest thing that's changed this month has been math. We've kind of been trying a couple different maths out this month, and the reason for that is because I'm planning a big math switch for next year, and so I wanted to kind of try a few of them out now to kind of see how they flow and see how they work for her and that sort of thing. So we have tried 3 different maths this month. The one that we've been sticking with for pretty much the last 2 weeks has been Math Mammoth. And this curriculum is a mastery approach math curriculum, which we've never tried before. All of the other maths that we've used have been spiral. But I just kept getting this feeling, even last year, that my daughter needs a mastery approach for math. And the reason that I'm kind of getting that feeling is that when we would use a spiral curriculum, they would introduce the topic, and then by the time they came back around to it again, she forgot what they had taught her before about the topic. So it wasn't enough reinforcement and consistently doing the same thing to keep her like remembering how to do things. And so what I have found with Math Mammoth is it's really built her confidence. She's working through Math Mammoth 4B. That's where she placed. And so she's been working on division. The entire 2 weeks has all been division and long division and all things division. And so she's really had a lot of adequate practice with division, and she's so quick with it now, and actually like has found a little bit of enjoyment in doing division, which I never thought I'd see from my math loathing child. Like, she's never really loved math, and it's always been a struggle to do math. And so when I see her wanting to do long division problems on the whiteboard for fun, like not something I'm making her do like in her free time, like I pretty much fainted on the floor. So I really think that this Math Mammoth is working for her. Some things that I really like about Math Mammoth is, one, it's a mastery approach, which I wanted to try with her and I think is key to helping her with math and where she struggles. 2, if you read the teacher's notes of Math Mammoth, it was written by a woman named Maria, and she specifically says in the instructions not to assign every problem to the child. She says the average student would be good with half of the problems, and then if they need more practice, have them do more. So what I've been doing is just highlighting the problems that I want her to do, and then she does them, and it averages about half of them. The other thing too is it's not like you go from lesson to lesson. You divide the pages up for your school year and how many school days you do, and then you find the average, and those are the number of pages that she's supposed to do every day. It averages about 2 pages a day, and then again, half of those problems. That really helps take the pressure off me, and it also helps take the pressure off her. When she sees the pages with all the problems on it, she knows that she only has to do the highlighted one. It helps keep her from getting overwhelmed, and I appreciate that as well, because if I was to make her do every problem, she would not make it. It would be a disaster. So I think that that's a very important thing to note if you are looking into using this curriculum. I don't think a lot of people who are using the curriculum or have looked at it know this, because you wouldn't know it unless you actually read Maria's teacher guide notes. And it's been a way to take the pressure off for sure. As far as Lightning Literature goes, it's going great. We still love it. I really, really love the literature-based language arts for sure. It's definitely a direction that I wanted to go this year because I wanted her to be reading more, and it's just like really enjoyable. It's really enjoyable to sit down and read a book together and then base the grammar concepts and questions off of the book. The comprehension is wonderful, and we have really enjoyed all of Lightning Literature. I never have to force her to do it. We really, really love it. She's loved all of the books so far. There hasn't been one that she hasn't liked. And right now we are in the middle of reading Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. And it's a really, really, really good book. And she really likes that one too. So we really like Lightning Literature. It's so like easy and straightforward to use. One thing that I have added in the last couple weeks has been the Good and the Beautiful's Writers Workshop. It's their like spelling and writers workshop for level 4 language arts, and I have just been pulling the writing lessons from that curriculum. It's a free PDF download, and I've just been printing them off one by one. If I decide I'm going to use it for that day, I will just print the next writer's lesson. I don't do the spelling ones, just the writer's ones. And then the other thing too is I made sure that she knows that she doesn't have to write anything for this. I'm going to write for her. I just want her to focus on the concepts that the writer's workshop is trying to help her with, and kind of composing things on her own and being able to like kind of process the information without having to worry about having to write the entire thing out. So that's what I've been doing with her, and it's been working really well. I really like that it's simple, it's straightforward. It really does highlight basics and starts really, really slow. She's been learning a lot about description and how that's so important to writing. She's also been learning about redundancy and putting her personality into her writing. And so I think that those are very valuable concepts for her to learn, and I think it's doing a really good job at guiding her through that. And they're just short little exercises. And yeah, so we've been enjoying that little part. I think for my daughter who's a struggling writer, I think it's like a perfect pace for her. We do it about 3 times a week, and I've really liked using it so far. Also this month, I did a whole video on it. We did a Steve Jenkins writing project, and that was kind of something we did on our own. It wasn't guided from any of our curriculum, but I did see it from an Instagram mom, and I really liked the idea, and we read the books. She wrote her own Steve Jenkins inspired book. I will link that video up above if you haven't seen it, but it was a really fun project. She really enjoyed it, and she worked so hard on it and put so much effort into it, and she felt really good. It was like a good confidence builder for her. And so we did that, and that was really fun. As far as history and science, history is kind of going We have not been doing history consistently. We've really struggled with history this year. I don't know why. I will say that like we're using the Not Grass Star Spangled Story curriculum, and while it's a beautiful curriculum, I almost feel like it's too basic for my daughter and too like, I don't know, it's not like super interesting. It's kind of just like keeps talking about different people and not really like major events or like a broad variety of people. I am leaning more towards wanting to do more like literature-based history because I find that so much more interesting, and that way you don't just get one point of view. So history has been a little bit of a struggle for us. I'm not gonna lie, we've just been kind of doing a lot of our own research and stuff lately with that. We recently switched over to doing Gather Round's Human Body unit, which is a full curriculum unit, but we've been just basically focusing on the science aspects of the curriculum. I haven't really been doing much of the like language arts portion of that or anything like that. We're just mainly focusing on the science stuff, and we really have been enjoying it. We really like it. It's interesting, it's engaging, and she really has enjoyed learning about the body. So that's what we're doing with science, and that's where we are with history. Hopefully we can find some way to make history a little bit better for us, but we shall see. One thing too, this month, Lacey has been reading so much, like on her own time, and she's actually finished 3 books this month alone, and she is about to start a new one, and she's just really been enjoying reading, and I really love to see that. Like, I love seeing her spend her free time in a book. Like, it makes my heart so happy. Like, it probably does everybody, but I just really love seeing that. So she's been enjoying that and doing a lot of that, which I really love because it's definitely building her love of literature, of reading, obviously vocabulary and that sort of thing, and it's just really good for her. So for me, I am still in the process of narrowing down our curriculum choices for next year. I've been doing a lot of research into curriculum lately because I really want to kind of decide what we're going to use and start purchasing things. So I do have a couple things that we are going to be using. I already have a couple of them and I'm excited about them, but there's still some things that I'm kind of going back and forth on and trying to really make a decision on. It's so hard. There's so many good curriculums out there to use, and I know that I can't use them all, even though I might want to. So I'm just trying to work on finalizing those choices. So if you guys enjoyed this homeschool update video, please let me know down below how your homeschool has been going the last few weeks, and I will see you guys in another video very soon. Bye.